So, the media equates the RSS and organizations affiliated with the RSS with Nazism and racial supremacy. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. My name is Sharma. Welcome to the Sharma Show. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Sharma Show. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Well, guys, I hope you had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. I ate a lot of food that was not great for me, so I'm very, very happy. If you are watching this episode for the first time, if you are watching this show for the first time, please, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing down below. And if you have watched the show before, if you do enjoy what we do here on the show, please make sure to subscribe down there. I was thinking initially not to wear this hat for today's episode, but when I put the video out on Reddit, one person really did not like the hat. So I'm wearing the hat just for you. Alright, so you must by now be familiar of the media and the intellectual circles and the academic circles in India that are so insistent on painting the RSS and the BJP as this religiously fundamentalist, racially supremacist, Nazi-like organizations that all they want to do is destroy minorities in India. So there was actually a very interesting article that I found written by Vamsee Juluri that was talking about how these media houses and how these intellectual circles are now trying to paint some medical organizations, volunteer medical organizations that are just trying to help improve the conditions of living in villages in India and equate them to trying to create a Nazi race of like superhumans and eugenics that the Nazis were trying to do. And I know you might be saying, Sham, I don't believe that. That sounds stupid. Well, I'll give you proof. Here's an article from the Washington Post saying, straight out of the Nazi playbook, Hindu nationalists try to engineer genius babies in India. Here's another one from our very own Indian Express. Ayurvedic eugenics, the RSS health wing promises designer babies like Germanic heroes.
Wow.
So for people that are not aware, eugenics is the science of improving a human population by controlled breeding to increase the occurrence of desirable heritable characteristics. Developed largely by Francis Galton and as a method of improving the human race, it fell into disfavor only after the perversion of its doctrines by the Nazis. So these days, essentially, whenever you use the word eugenics, you related to the white supremacist Nazi kind of movement. And it is for that very reason that the media houses and that the intellectual circles in India are very keen to use the word eugenics whenever they describe the medical practices that are taken by these volunteer organizations. Some of the people in these voluntary organizations who are incidentally related to the RSS. And of course, these people hate the RSS because the RSS talks about a Hindu Rashtra, and they always, whenever they talk about the RSS, they say, well, they talk about the Hindu Rashtra, and that means that they're trying to destroy minorities, where the RSS never really says that. The RSS says that they want a Hindu Rashtra because this is the country where the Hindu civilization was born, and this is the only home that the Hindus have. But they also say that just because they want a home for Hindus in India and they don't want Hindus to be outnumbered and outpopulated in India, that doesn't mean that the Muslim communities and minority communities cannot exist. It's just like when Israel says that they want a home for Jews in Israel, but Israel still has Muslim Arabs living there and Christians living there. And I think that's a pretty legitimate concern. And they also talk about how through these eugenics, the RSS is trying to create these superhumans and these kind of super race which are taller, stronger, and things like that. And you saw how the Washington Post and the Indian Express was suggesting that. And what they forgot to mention, though, and what they conveniently forget to mention, is that in the last 200 years since the Industrial Revolution, the average height in the West, in Europe, and in America has grown by an average of 4 inches. Is that why the people have become taller? Because it's a racist agenda? No. These people have become taller and bigger because nutrition has improved, because the death rates have lowered, because medical expertise has become better, because medicines are now readily available and people die less of preventable diseases. That is why these people are now healthier, and because they're now healthier and they're getting a lot better nutrition than they used to before those 200 years, they're now becoming healthier and taller and stronger. And that is what these voluntary medical organizations like Arogya Bharati and the Garbjhavigyan Anusandhan Kendra, these these organizations, that is what these organizations are trying to do. But then, of course, that's racist, right? So let me read you a passage from the About Us page of one of these organizations, the Arogya Bharati, and tell me if that sounds racially supremacist or bigoted or Nazi-like to you. Even in this 21st century, it is distressful to note that people die of aggravation of simple diseases like fever, diarrhea, and hunger, thirst, heat strokes, and cold waves, or they are dying because of poverty, ignorance, and blind beliefs. The necessity is that of a system which enables the individuals and society to be aware of simple health problems, be educated and resourceful enough to tackle the above said problems. By taking up the availability of potable drinking water, enough food, clean environment, we can be safe from 80% of these diseases. Does that sound like a racist, supremacist organization to you? I don't think so. They talk about removing these blind beliefs and ignorance from these societies as well. And that is something that the left loves to hammer, that these Hindus are savages that just believe in these blind beliefs and this mumbo jumbo. So when organizations mention that they want to move people away from these beliefs, the left should be supporting them, right? But they won't support these organizations because these organizations are affiliated with the RSS, and because the RSS themselves have been trying to help move people away from those blind beliefs and from those caste restrictions. And if they support these organizations, that will destroy their whole agenda. And here's the thing, these voluntary organizations never talk about, creating better, healthier babies and restricting them to the Hindu community only. They never said that we want this only for the Hindu community. They say that we want this for everybody in India. They don't say that we don't want this for Muslims or we don't want this for Christians. They say we want this for every Indian. They add the desire within Indians to create healthier offspring and to create healthier, stronger people. And they take that desire and they add a bigoted ideology to it. So they said that because Indians want better, healthier kids, that means that they also obviously want to make sure that there's a genocide of the minorities. Now that is not true at all. None of the organizations, no mainstream Hindu organizations has ever said that. And here's the thing, these media houses and these intellectual circles work so hard to paint these Hindu organizations or Hindu nationalism as some fascist ideology, but they never ever talk about the concept of Darul Harb and Darul Islam, which is a very important concept in Islamic ideology. Now I'm not saying that all Muslims believe in this ideology. I know many Muslims that do not believe in this ideology, but it also needs to be accepted that there are a sizable number of Muslims that believe in this ideology. On top of that, they also never talk about the ideology of Christians, where they say that the only way people like the Hindus and people that are not Christian, the only way they can be saved and the only way that they can be redeemed and the only way that these people can go to heaven is if they accept Christianity and they accept Jesus in their lives. Now, these people, by saying this, are immediately saying that the people who are not Christians are obviously bad people and are beneath them. But these media organizations never ever bring this concept up and never ever talk about these concepts and expose these concepts for being as bad as they are. And I'm not saying all of Islamic concept and all of Christian concept is full of that, but these concepts are bad concepts and they should be highlighted, but they never are. And all we hear is that Hinduism is fascism and that Hindu organizations are fascist and racist organizations. And it is very important that we fight back, organize it, that we raise our voices against this injustice and against this. We got so riled up about that Padmavat movie, but we never see the same amount of emotion, the same amount of anger, and the same amount of resolve to fight back against these ideologies and these tricks the media and the intellectual circles use, because these are the things that are actually weakening and killing us. These are the things that actually really hurt us. And things like yoga, things like mindfulness, things like Ayurveda, these are things that are ridiculed in India, but these are things that are widely accepted in the West, and we have to make sure that we reclaim that in India and that Indians abroad take pride in these things and take ownership in these things. We really have to make sure that we ensure that. And I want to hear your thoughts about this as well, guys. What do you think we can do to fight back against this ideology and to fight back against this conspiracy and this collusion between the media and the intellectual circles? Please let me know. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. Okay, guys, again, that's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please make sure to leave a like on the video. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, and it helps me keep making this great content for you. We want this channel to grow and we want to spread this awareness. So if you're not subscribed already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Okay, guys, thanks very much for watching today's episode. I will see you again on Wednesday. I'm trying to organize more episodes for the sessions and organize more interviews that I can talk to people on the show for you as well. So I will have some news about that on the Wednesday episode. Make sure you tune in. And until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.